Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is Eisenherz and today we're going to have a look at the best clone effects in cEDH. Clone effects are by far my favorite cards overall, but in the past they did not see as much play as they do now, except for maybe Phantasmal Image. Last year though, the printing of the One Ring made a lot of players include Phyrexian Metamorph into their decks. Later, with the Doctor Who set, we got another playable clone effect with Flash Duplicate, and more recently the printing of Mockingbird made some players consider adding yet another clone effect to their deck. So let's look at the best clone effects, and why not start at the very beginning. If you look up clone on Scryfall, you will get around 50 entries, all of which are permanents that copy a creature as they enter the battlefield. The baseline mana cost for these kind of effects is 4, which was set by the very first clone effect that was printed in Alpha, Clone. 4 mana for a card that doesn't do anything on its own is way too much though. Remember that clone effects scale with the power level of cards in the meta, as well as the cards that the particular clone can copy. A good clone therefore needs to be able to copy strong cards while ideally costing less than them, and that leads us to the top clones in cEDH. Phantasmal Image is by far the most widely played clone effect in cEDH, and if you know the format, you know why that is. Image is very cheap to cast, and its downside of being an illusion that sacrifices itself once it gets targeted is basically irrelevant, because more often than not you're trying to copy a really strong ETB like Dockside, or a protection piece like Grand Abolisher. Yes, it would be nice to get a creature that's more resilient, but the value Phantasmal Image provides in this format for only 2 mana absolutely outweighs its drawbacks. Also, the sacrifice effect can be used to our advantage by removing the Dockside copy so nobody else gets to copy it, or by looping Phantasmal Image with Kenrith activated abilities. Phyrexian Metamorph is probably the second most played clone effect in cEDH, and I know for a fact that I was one of the first people to include this absolute beast in their deck lists, because I was playing it in Urza years before it became this popular as a reaction to the One Ring. Anyway, Metamorph only costs 3 colorless mana to cast, which although more expensive than Phantasmal Image, also makes it a bit easier to cast as it requires no colored mana. Also, whatever you copy with Metamorph sticks around, so you're better off when you copy engines like Tymna or Crown. Additionally, you can use Metamorph to copy artifacts and not only creatures, so you can copy Wishclaw Talisman, the One Ring, Defense Grid, or even Bola's Citadel. Another upside Metamorph has is that you can tutor for it with Enlightened Tutor, which makes it even more reliable. Overall, this card is just incredibly powerful and in my opinion not only better than Phantasmal Image, but also one of the coolest cards ever printed and my absolute favorite card ever. Imposter Mech is another artifact-based clone effect that sees play in a good amount of cEDH decks from Urza to Tivit and more. The upside Imposter Mech has is its cheap casting cost and the fact that the copied creature sticks around. However, it can only copy opponent's creatures and the copy becomes a vehicle and loses all other card types. This might seem like a downside, but in cEDH it is either mostly irrelevant or even an upside. For example, if you copy a Devoted Druid, which sees play in some green decks, you can make infinite mana at instant speed. Also, if you copy an Orcish Bowmasters, you can ping your opponent's Orcish Bowmasters, but they can't ping yours, because a vehicle can't die from damage. Another upside to Imposter Mech is that you can tutor it into play through Gravedigger's Cage because it's not a creature. This might be a niche scenario, but it has won me a few games before. Machine God Effigy is another clone effect that sees a little bit of play in some cEDH decks. Although it costs 4 mana, the copied creature becomes an artifact and stops being a creature. This allows you to copy Devoted Druid and make infinite mana. So in that regard it is pretty similar to Imposter Mech, but it can copy your own creature, which allows you to reliably combo off this way. Other than that, its mana cost is a little too high for other cEDH decks, even if it can tap for mana itself. Flash Duplicate is a clone from last year's Doctor Who set that allows you to copy any creature on the battlefield for only 2 blue mana. In that regard, its casting cost is worse than Phantasmal Image and probably even Phyrexian Metamorph. However, unlike Phantasmal Image, the clone does not sacrifice itself once it gets targeted, but instead has Vanishing 3. So it only sticks around for 3 turns before you eventually also have to sacrifice it. Still, being able to copy strong ETBs or creature-based engines for only 2 mana is absolutely broken. Mockingbird is the new cEDH viable clone. As of yet, we can't tell if this creature will prove itself as a must include, but it for sure has a lot of potential. First of all, its casting cost scales with the game, so you can drop it for 1 mana to clone Esper Sentinel or Ragavan, or for 2 mana to copy Dockside, Oracle or OBM. Additionally, the copy will be evasive, which is really good if you copy Ragavan or Esper Sentinel and can drop a turn 2 Tymna. Unfortunately though, for everything above 2 CMC, Mockingbird becomes less mana efficient than Phantasmal Image or Flash Duplicate. But then again, the casting cost scales well and the clone sticks around and gets flying. I personally really like this card design and will definitely give it a shot. And finally, we have Sakashima of 1000 Faces. This is a very special clone because it is the only one that can be in the command zone, and of course it circumvents the legend rule. These upsides explain its high mana cost, because being able to have a second copy of your partner commander is incredibly powerful. We all know the infamous Krark Sakashima deck, but another really strong deck is Tymna Sakashima, which allows you to have 2 Tymnas in the command zone and draw a ton of cards. And that's it. These are all the most widely played clones in cEDH. And of course, the more strong creatures get printed, the better each of these cards will become over time. So what's your favorite clone effect and what was your coolest win using one of these clones? Make sure to like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy my content and want to support me, please consider becoming a patron. As always, thanks for watching my videos. This is Eisenherz and auf Wiedersehen.